Hey Aries, thank you so much for your patronage and for joining me for this extended reading mid-September. So, quick recap, you've been in this very comfortable merging with the earth type space, grounding yourself in this really intense way, almost in like deep rest, meditation, cryo freeze mode, because you're gearing up to fly, to spread your wings. And so there may be a little bit of resistance within you on that, because this has become such a comfortable space to be in. And like, truly, it's a glorious space. Look how beautiful it is. But it's also quite zoomed in. Notice how it's zoomed in on the person's face. You're not getting much more than that. And you know, there is a much bigger world for you to see than the one you're currently residing or resting in. There's a bigger world here. So there's this feeling of you gearing up, that energy to bust out and fly very, very high here. See the furnace, this inferno in the belly of the bird here. Because when you do, you know, when the magician shows up and grants you the tool to work with this, with your own energetic potential, it's like this fire that's been stoked in the core of you for a very long time lights up whatever structure this is that kind of keeps you here. And the image is you just flying away from this. So we're going to continue to pull cards now and see where that leads. So for Aries mid-September here, what's next? Eight of Swords. Page of Swords. Two of Wands. Aries, wow. One more card, okay. I knew this was gonna come, I felt it. Eight of Cups. All right. Talk about you busting out. The Eight of Swords traditionally in the tarot is that feeling of being trapped in some way. Maybe like just trapped mentally and you don't know how to get out of it. The beautiful story that Marielle tells about this particular Eight of Swords, as you can see right behind this gate is this beautiful pathway up to a huge like tower. I wanted to say lighthouse. A high place where you can see everything, and there's a lot of beauty on the other side. There's mountains, there's water, there's flowers. And the funny thing is about this gate, there's no lock. And yet here you are on the other side of it. You're not actually blocked from this. Yet here you are on the other side of the gate. Some major secret garden energy here, but you don't have to find the key. All you have to do is push one of these doors open and walk through. The way being barred is an illusion. And so what is needed in order to push the gate open is the energy of the magician, meaning action. Taking individual action, taking personal responsibility for where you want to go and how you're going to get there. And we have another card of this busting out energy with the Page of Swords. And I'm getting here that it's like, you know, Mary L's story with this Page of Swords is very much this apprentice energy that is now ready, you know, has reached some sort of level and is ready to burst forth with what they know, to share what they know. And I am ready. That's the phrase with this. I am ready. You know, they've gone through whatever initiations. So they have these tattoos to show for the journey that they've been on. And that dragon is very much your fire energy, Aries. It's actually this fire in the belly of the bird. Also showing up in this dragon energy, we have more talons, grasping something, you know, at these very particular energetic centers being lit up. You know, it's like root, navel, solar plexus, heart, throat. And the throat is the one that's being lit up. There's something maybe for you to verbally express. This is about self-expression and naked self-expression. There's something very visceral, very corporeal, you know, like about the body. Embodied self-expression here. It's time for you to bust through those gates. It's time for you to bust through whatever this is that has you bound, because you've done the deep internal work and grounding work to understand your own potential. And now you have the tool you need to do this. Let your fire blaze. Now, let your fire blaze. Hear the sirens. Eight of Cups is traditionally a card about walking away, moving on, leaving something great in search of something greater. Leaving something great. It's great here, creature comforts, but I am in search of something. I can feel there's something greater, and I'm gonna go for it. Now in this deck, we've got the Child. This is showing up as the lion energy here, you know, Leo energy. The lion energy is showing up as your inner beast, as your inner fire, which is such a through line in all of these cards so far. That blaze that's been going inside of you. It's almost like slaying the inner beast. It's very much got strength card energy here, because we've got the Child, the two very powerful forces. The roar of the lion, you know, king of the beasts. And then we've got a different kind of power, which is that of the Child. The innocence, the purity, the zeal for life, the joy, the simplicity of the Child. And here they are merging. The Child wearing the lion suit almost as protection. You know, leaving things behind when we feel that call in our heart to fly higher, to go elsewhere. Leaving something behind in the process is bittersweet, deeply vulnerable, really kind of scary thing to do, especially for the inner child that wants to be safe, wants to be held in creature comforts of like love and cuddling and, I heard bed sheets over in the other reading, so maybe perhaps the comforts of a relationship that may be transitioning form as you transition form in a way that feels like you're leaving it behind in search of something more like philosophically fulfilling for you, emotionally fulfilling for you, because we're looking at cups. And so you put on the suit of your inner beast to protect the vulnerable bits of you in this process of transition. I'm getting here. See the star on the arm of the child walking away from something, following, I just saw 1111, following that star, that north star in the sky that calls to you, that says this way, this way. You've got it right there over your heart. And there is this energy of protecting yourself or protecting someone. Sometimes the way that we tame, now I'm looking at this card, and the ringlets of the lion feel like the cowardly lion from The Wizard of Oz. I am the king of the forest. But really, he's quite scared inside. That's the energy coming through here big time for you, Aries. It's like, with all this heat, I'm the king of the forest, I gotta go do this, I'm the king of the sky, whatever. And then it's like, actually, I'm scared. It's okay to be scared in this process. Because, it's a bit of a birth. This portal, this birth canal. Now, here you are, funny enough, full circle from the beginning of this reading until now. Traveling, here we are back to the trees. Crossing this threshold into who knows where. It's weird. There's a duality coming through here because it's almost like from this energy, this is like, if you can bear with me here, this is what's behind here, and you like fly out of the hole, because that's like the incubation womb, the forest womb that you've been in, the earth womb that you've been incubating in, and now you're ready to burst forth from that womb out of this hole. But then, the act of bursting forth from one hole sort of leads you suddenly facing another one, So bursting forth here, and then suddenly you turn around and it's like you find yourself facing another unknown threshold to cross into, where you can't really see what's on the other side. And I think that's where this fear comes in. But you've got the skins of your inner power, your inner king of the jungle, king of the animals. So it is safe for your inner child self. If you think of the portal into the unknown more as another kind of womb type passage, perhaps that fear will be alleviated. Because, you know, a child would understand womb space, perhaps. There's also something interesting now about moving from earth incubation into wands incubation. Wands is fire. So your fire has been lit through this process of breaking out of whatever held you back, that you realize was actually more mental probably than anything. And so you know, 2 swords cards here, you bust free of that. And your soul, that fire in your belly, is allowed to blaze here. And so here we are in the fire element with wands. You are re-entering the woods in a way, but it's a very different woods and from a very different place, because this is fire. I don't know if you can see this, but there are 2 oak men here. See the faces in the trees? 2 oak people. Ancient, deep, sage wisdom that's here to guide you. 2 of Wands often indicates a choice point. And so, you know, in your readings, Aries, for a while now, we've been looking at this sense that you are not quite living up to your full potential, and you have it in you and you're ready to fly. But there are things in the earth realm, you know, tangible things, people, jobs, houses, finances, material things, issues with the body, whatever that is in this earth element that holds you back in some way. And so now, perhaps mid-September here, there is potential energy for you to finally bust out of that and begin to spread your wings. But it is a choice point to cross that threshold. I'm being drawn to the lights in the trees. You're entering a land of very deep forest. Whereas this whatever this is that you have been in, this state of incubation that you've been in, has prepared you for this, because now you've got the forest, you've got the vines, you've got the ivy in your veins. You've got the chlorophyll in your veins. And so the fairies, the oak people, the root system here recognizes you as one of them. So you will be safe. Really, really interesting, Aries. This is beautiful. I'm being drawn to ask these plant cards here, the Botanical Tarot. It's just major arcana. Since you are going into the forest, from a new perspective, from the perspective of like choosing your soul fire, choosing your inner flame as your guide forward. I want to see if there's any kind of plant, major arcana plant help that's here for you. Okay. Wow. Justice. So let's see. What plant is this here that we're looking at? Gladiolus. God, these cards are so gorgeous. You know, Aries, this is a beautiful, rich pink. It's like pink and red and deep purple. But the deep purple blue is more of the sheath, but what emerges out is the fire red. That's you. That's your freaking wand's energy. That's your like soul flame creativity. Your creativity bursting forth is your light through this passage. And your creativity being allowed to fully burst, that is justice. And justice is balanced scales. That's the balance that is currently missing in the Two of Discs, which is traditionally a card about balancing the two coins, right? So this Two of Coins energy has you so in the earth element without your fire, without the creativity bursting and blooming, without your artistry leading the way. For some of you, this really is about you as an artist. Whatever your creativity, whatever that soul passion, it needs to burst through to bring balance to this creature comfort, relationships, house, job, the rest of your life, basically, you come into balance with the rest of your life when creativity is your guide forward through this passage. Rad. Okay, Aries. Lovely. Thank you so much for joining me for this extended. I'll be in touch throughout the month here on Patreon, checking in about the moon cycles and all of that. And we'll see how this moves you into October. Take care of yourself.